Welcome to Redbeard and the Den of Tools. We're live here in Livingston, Montana for another Wednesday live stream. Once again, we're hanging out at the farmer's market. Well, I should say the family's at the farmer's market. I'm across the way, parked in front of the skate park, just hanging out in the vehicle because it's air conditioned. And it's one of the few places in town we get good reception. So that's what you got to do when you're out here in the hinterlands. How's everyone doing today? Anybody? We got anybody there today? Well, for those of you who have seen the latest, hey there, Joe, who've seen the latest video, we did the announcement about the Warrior ton 10 heat index. Yeah, I can't handle that heat anymore. But yeah, so for those of you who saw the latest video about the Warrior 18-volt drill, just to let you know, I picked up one of those. The next day I was able to go into Bozeman and grab one, and decided to do a little bit of a shootout of the discount drill options that are out there. I went and I got one of the, I think it's called Tough Max or whatever. It's the Walmart brand, and I picked up one of the. I tried to get a Black and Decker because I thought Black and Decker had a pretty cheap option. You can get a 20 volt max system, and for those of you who don't know, the 18 volt and 20 volt systems are identical. The 20 volt is always called max because it's the max output. 18 volt systems have the same thing. So whenever you see, like, say, a rigid 18 volt system versus a Porter Cable 20 volt system or 20 volt max system, it's the same amount of juice. It's just marketed differently. Anyway, so I tried to pick up one of the Black and Deckers, but it turned out the only thing they had was a 12 volt. We gave that a shot, and just to give you a bit of a spoiler, I can tell you the Black and Decker didn't do well. And I'll be honest, I was a little disappointed in the Tough Max. I thought it would do better than it did. The build construction on it was everything was great. The Warrior did better than I had thought it would do. Not maybe not as good as I'd hoped. Um, some of the build construction on it, the way they do the charging on it, is a little janky. But you'll see that in the video. I'm going to be working on that tonight and try and get that posted either Thursday or Friday for you guys. Um, Other than that, let's see here. What else? Have any of you been following in the what is it? The community tab on the main page. It's kind of like a Facebook-esque kind of page where I can post updates. You guys can chat and comment and stuff. And I asked the question about what you guys think we should do. We were looking for a secondary vehicle. There was also a 4x4, and we were looking at getting either one of the Jeep Renegades, the Kawasaki Mule, or the or something else. And a lot of people didn't, as usual, didn't listen to the requirements. Part of it was, we have our own business, so to make it economical, we needed to buy something new because the write-offs with taxes and stuff for that would made it a better for us to finance it in the long run. It's weird the way tax rules work, but anyway, if you guys could tell what's behind me here, you might guess at what our decision was. It wasn't to go with the mule. Big part of that was, whereas you can use ATVs and UTVs on non-highways, or I should say non-freeways, non-limited access highways here in Montana. So pretty much anywhere around here you can use one. We can't use them in Vegas, which is the other place where we live. And you can use them outside of Vegas. Any town that has a population of under 100,000, you can get them registered for street use. But that would pretty much make it just a toy for us, and we needed something with a little bit more practicality. So we ended up getting a Renegade, and we're going to be doing a video on that. In fact, it was, after doing some research, I found out it's the cheapest honest to goodness 4x4 you can buy. Was that off road, on road, on streets, causes law enforcement to ask questions? Yeah, well, the street legality, you have to get plates for it. You have to register it. So you don't have quite the issue you do with some other questionable vehicles because they can see you got plates that you're legit on it. Uh, put a lift. Well, the Jeep Renegade isn't exactly the same thing as like the Wrangler series. Now, I'm a Jeep guy from way back in the day. I had a CJ7 back in the 80s, and I loved that thing. It would literally go anywhere. This is not quite the same thing. Here, let me give you a little view. You take a look. There's the back seats. Yeah, that's a leather interior. Hold on. Let me switch the camera around. Come on. There we go. As you can see, since 1941, this is the one that's got all the little, what do you call it? The Easter eggs in it. I don't know if you can see over there in the corner. There's a silhouette of a Jeep in the trim of the window. Just show you the speedometer. For all intents and purposes, on the inside, it's like a car. Although most Jeeps these days are. My last Jeep experiences were with the old metal dash with the speedometer down in the center. So it's and the funny thing is, that's how truck gets hooked up. It's as comfortable as one. It's tiny. This is actually made. This is part of the whole Fiat consortium thing, and this vehicle is actually made in Italy. In fact, my understanding is it's made on the same assembly line that makes the Fiat 500. What's the big Fiat 500? The one that's a little car but not a little car. And and I was a little iffy about it, especially when we got in it, but it's so boxy. It's got tons of space inside. We can fit the whole family, all five of us in here. But it's not something I would want to do a road trip on or in it. But it has a real Jeep 4x4 suspension. In fact, this is the Trailhawk model. That's why it's got all the colored bezels and all the little extra bits to it. And I've taken it through some mud and some dirt and down some really nasty roads. Yeah. And but it's, everyone, I'm not going to go over and do a whole like off-road review of it because so many people have already done those. And you understand, it's not a Wrangler and it's never going to be a Wrangler. But for a vehicle that you're going to be going off-road-ish with, this is a great vehicle. And we were ready to buy and usually when I buy a new vehicle, what I do is I get the base level vehicle that you can get as long as it has air conditioning, power windows, and an automatic. I get the automatic because the wife isn't comfortable driving the stick. I get the air conditioning because it's life support in where I live. Half the time, half the year, it's over 100 degrees. And I like power windows because I like to drive my windows down on the days where it's not over 100 degrees. And leaning across trying to roll down the windows on the opposite side is just a pain. And pretty much everything these days comes with automatic windows. And I don't care about anything else. I was not into the leather seats or any of the other gizmos this thing has. But we went to the dealership, and you can get basically the one I described for under $15,000 new. And that's a pretty killer deal for something you can literally take right off road. And we got lucky in that they hey there. Fix it again, Tony. Nice. But we get lucky. There's a lot of wealthy people in this part of Montana. It's really kind of a oh, don't say Italians aren't made to drive. They may not make the most reliable vehicles, but they make great driving vehicles. Anyway, this area in Montana has attracted a lot of like movie stars and rich folk and stuff. There's some areas that are still real country and some areas that have gotten kind of pricey. And apparently some incredibly rich German guy owns a huge ranch around here. Let me tell you this. He's rich enough. He has an F1 racing team. Okay, and a lot of people around here talk about him or know him. And he buys a ton of cars just for whatever reason, and then he turns around and he gets rid of them, for whatever it is, just basically to cover basic costs on it. And he bought this for his daughter's best friend who was going to study abroad here. He just bought her top of the line Jeep, said go ahead and use it. It's a 2015, and it had 12,000 miles on it. And it's in, as you can see, it's in like new condition. The tires. Oh, and it came with it's got the off-road tires, slightly, I should say, all-terrain tires on it right now, and it came with another set of summer driving tires, complete with aluminum billet wheels. So another. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I bumped the AC and it decided to go full bore on me. Uh but yeah, so I mean that's another $1,000 in tires and wheels there. So and it was for the same price as buying a new base model one. And the wife, of course, was like, she fell in love with it, and what am I gonna do? Say no? So happy wife, happy life. So anyway, video. Come back to the video, back to the Harbor Freight stuff, the Warrior drill. So I got that video. We did some work on not quite, basically some deck kind of work. We built a set of stairs for the porch. It rotted through and it was dead and needed to get replaced. So the Cubs and I went to work, and they had a blast working with Dad out here. The mosquitoes have set in. I know a couple weeks ago I was talking about oh no, there's no mosquitoes around here, we're doing fine. No, the size of Cessnas around here, they are in for real now. The water from all the rain has set, and there's not plenty of pools for them, and all the nymphs have hatched, and unfortunately still no good fishing because the rivers themselves are still way too high. Duncan, the older cub, and we drove up into the mountains right over there the other morning. Hopefully, we're hoping that further up the water wouldn't be as high, and maybe we could do a little bit of fishing. No fishing. We saw bears. We saw two bears, two brown bears, a black wolf, herds of pronghorn, and holy cow, Joe! He figured it out. Wow, thank you so much, everyone. That was one of the super chats you can do to donate for the channel. Joe, thank you so much. I didn't bring my cowbell with me. I'd honk, but I'd scare all these kids. Oh, here, let me show you the together in town and chipped in to build this thing. I gotta tell you, this is one of the nicest skate parks I've ever seen. They're still working on it. They've got the landscaping around the outside. It just opened last week. They had a Skater Palooza day. And you can see sometime later. Bigfoot sightings. No, but there is one on the back window. I'll give you. Okay, as I said, I've got the video for the Warrior coming out on Friday. But the breakdown is, it's probably the best budget tool you can get. Here's the problem with it. This is the big problem across the board. All these budget, like under $50 power tools, whether they're NiCad or lithium or anything else, the biggest problem I found is there's no line. It's one tool. Now the Warrior has the flashlight, but I'm sorry, I can buy a flashlight. I don't need. The flashlight is the least tool in the tool line that I need. It's the one that they always throw in as a free accessory. Give me a drill driver and an impact driver to start with, and then get me a circular saw and a sawzall. Sorry, reciprocating saw. Maybe a jigsaw. Let's start there. And they and the problem is there's no line to it. The the least expensive line you're going to get into that actually has multiple tools where you can invest in the batteries and use them across multiple tools is probably going to be the Bauer line. When it's on sale, it's going to be as cheap or cheaper than the Ryobi line that you can buy. Now, the difference there, though, is if you want to invest all at once. Sorry, we're getting some sun glare there. Let me see if I can. I don't know if we're going to get her. There we go. The only thing you're going to be able to do is if you've got the. Uh-oh. I'm busted. Hold on. What's up?
Need your wallet.
You don't need my wallet. I'm getting robbed, people. Someone call someone. Hold on. How much you need?
All of it.
All of it? The whole wallet?
Just the wallet.
Damn.
Hi, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
How'd you find me? Woman must have walked all over the entire parking lot to find me just to steal my wallet. At least she's cute. Anyway. Alright, just like the old Harbor Freight thermos mug, whatever this is. You know what's really funny? I can't find the damn top to it. So I'm still using the Yeti top. I have to take Greyhound home. Don't remind me about going home. That's the other thing. So anyway, there is no whole line, but if you buy the Ryobi, if you like get one of the Christmas or Black Friday specials and you invest all at once, you could buy the whole line. Yeah, that's true. She probably did that, knowing her. She's tricky. But you can buy a whole, bag of tools, like 6 or 8 tools, for a couple $100. And there's no way you can match that with Bauer. Bauer doesn't have an option for buying the 6-piece, tool line. If you buy them when they're all on sale, you might come close, but you're not gonna beat a bulk deal from Ryobi. But anyway, about the home thing. Handling for bus ticket. So we came up here with the pickup truck towing the trailer, and we extended. We were supposed to head back on the 20th, but we've been having such a good time, and other people managed to come through for us on some other stuff that we extended until the 4th of July. We're going to be the big Montana rodeo. The biggest rodeo in Montana is the Livingston rodeo on the 4th of July. And it's not one of those, for tourist rodeos. These are real cowboys and ranch hands and stuff who come down here to win money. Hey Gary, how's it going? And the if you ever get around here and you have a chance, you're right here the 4th of July. It's the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th. And I think actually, I don't know, one of them's a free day for the overfill for too many contestants or whatever. I can't remember if that's the 1st or the 2nd. So we're gonna be going that day, and we're gonna be going the 4th. Gotta see the sheep riding. They take the young kids and put them on a sheep, try to see how long they can stay on. Mutton busting, I think they call it. But if you ever get a chance, you gotta come up here and see this. They do fireworks every night. It's a good time. That said, so we extended to the 4th, and now the wife, because we have a vehicle up here, is like, well, you can go home and take care of the stuff you need to, and I might stay here with the kids for the rest of July. I'm like, oh, that must be nice. Let me go home and do all the work. But yeah, that's probably what we're going to do. So I'm going to be headed back, leaving on the 5th, getting back to Vegas on 5th, 6th. I'm going to be driving, doing one night probably down in Salt Lake City and then back in Vegas. But she's going to stay up here. So once I get back, we'll have the bear back, and we'll get back on more on there'll be less of this Livingston touristy kind of stuff, and hanging out in the country stuff, and we'll get you more of the tool talk. There any other power tool lines from Harbor Freight or anywhere else you guys want to see? Oh, and speaking of stuff, Harbor Freight's been replacing everything. The next thing they're going to be replacing, I'm seeing, is going to be of all things, their heat guns. They've been closing out both of is it 2 or 3 tiers of heat guns that they have. And if you want a good heat gun, the digital heat gun they have is on sale right now for $19 in closeout. So your store may or may not have it. But it's great because it's got a really accurate setting as to the power level, and the back of it's flat, so you can sit it pointing straight up and down, so you can work hands free. You have both your hands on your work rather than one hand holding the gun, the other hand trying to hold down what you're working on. Oh, it's cozy in this Jeep. You should see the wife. She's all crazy. She's been online shopping for Jeep gear. She wants to add all sorts of mods and stuff to it. It's funny because I've been trying to talk her into a Wrangler for years, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know if I want a Jeep." Now that she's got it, she's ready to go mudding. We got the little Jeep. It was for a secondary vehicle, and for the wife, it's the Renegade. We got the Trailhawk edition in gray, but it's been great. Wait, what was that? Oh, the Link stuff. That's a good idea. Um, I can't justify the Lynx blower right now because I just bought the Work. Was it Works? I bought the Works leaf blower and whatchamacallit. Nice. He just bought the 2016 Trailhawk. I got 2015. It had 12,000 miles on it with an extra set of tires. Ego, yeah. Yeah, the wife. I don't know if you guys are coming in late. The wife just hijacked me. Can't believe she did that. Yeah, I can. I totally believe she did that. And the where was? Oh, so I bought the Works blower and the Works trimmer. We don't have a big yard up here, so I just needed a string trimmer and a blower to kind of. We had a year's worth of like leaf stuff and some dirt and whatnot. Our house catches everything that comes down the hill. It's an old house, and the sidewalk is built right up to the stone of the house, and all the rain and dirt that comes down the hill just catches right there, and we had to get rid of all of that. Whoops, what was that? ATR average tool. Like, you take care, man. We'll see you around. Thanks for stopping by. Boy, yeah, the amount of money we've been putting in this house, it's put a strain. We've been buying all sorts of stuff and fixing up everything. Hey, if you guys want to help out, any of you still own VHS players? Because I have, and I'm not even joking, about 1,200 VHS tapes. We've been going through her dad's old office, and the man, he had probably, I think we had close to 2,000 books. He loved to read, but he loved movies too. We had probably a couple hundred DVDs, and just literally every movie you could possibly think of on VHS. Um, let's see here, what else. Oh, I did sell one of the rifles. I sold the 30-06 J.C. Higgins to a great guy. Wayne, if you're watching up in Great Falls, thank you so much. You're a real guy, a really good guy, and I want to say thank you. The Cubs and the wife loved meeting you, and thanks for helping us out for that. So Wayne's going to take the action from that J.C. Higgins, which actually happens to be a Belgian-made FN action of the Mauser type, and he makes target rifles, right? And he's a retired Army sniper up there. So thank you so much to him. Let's see what else we're trying to get rid of. If any of you guys are into it, I've got a Makita chop saw. You're going to see that in the video on Friday that I'm getting rid of. That thing is a tank. It's the kind with the pistol grip, where it's just the one grip that comes down the side, and it's a miter. It's not a tilting one. It's a smaller blade. I was cutting 2x6s with it, and I had to flip them to cut through all the way. So, an oscilloscope. No, no oscilloscopes. But I got lots of traditional hand saws, lots of wrenches. I got some Craftsman stuff. Um, her dad was a woodworker, not a woodworker, a carpenter, and he did some really nice work and stuff. But of course, it was the typical, you know, works on everyone else's house but his own. By the end of the day, you're too tired to work on your own stuff. So this 140-year-old house needs some work. Hand planes. There are a few hand planes. I don't know what kind of condition there are, but I need to dig those out. We've been pulling everything out of the basement. It's not easy to get down there. The house is built on a hill, and it doesn't have much of a yard. And the backyard basically comes down the hill. It goes right in the fence. So you got to kind of come down, squeeze around the back to get into what's literally a half basement. It's got a dirt floor in there. Luckily, it stays dry. Touring DC, but it's hot and humid over there. The yard hero. the Let's see here. What else have we found down there? Some old foot lockers from the army. I think it's from his days. He served in the army for a few years. Um, oh, I've got some blacksmith tools. The house that we have is the oldest house in Livingston. In fact, I just recently found out it's the fourth oldest house in all of Montana that's still standing. It's 140 years old. And at one time, it was the blacksmith shop for the local railroad. And we found footman's vise, a blacksmith footman's vise, or foot vise, sorry, and ladles and tongs and a bunch of other blacksmith tools. Most of them, they get a good amount of surface rust. Some of them are pitted, but I'll see what I can dig out. We'll lay it out, and I'll do a video on that. But I'm gonna set up probably like an Etsy shop or something, and anything you guys can help out with, I'll let you know, because we need to raise money to work on this house. It needs a lot of work. The video for the controller, nice. The video for the security cameras is coming up next. I'm just finishing installing four security cameras. These things are amazing. They're really high end. The system, I think, costs around $1,500, or is it $2,500? I'll have to double check. And I just blanked on the company that makes it. It's don't worry, I'll let you guys know about the blacksmithing tools. I knew people would be interested in those. Oh, that's what it was. The tie downs. You'd asked that question before, and the wife and I are sitting there going, "Was that a spell check correction on down? What tie down? The yellow and the orange. You're talking about the straps, right? The ratchet straps. The yellow ones are stronger, if I'm not mistaken. I'm in my head because the yellow one's about this wide, right? And the orange ones are real skinny. I can tell you this: the yellow ones fray, or not the yellow ones, the orange ones fray just by looking at them. They are a one-trip kind of solution or a backup kind of solution. Don't use them for anything serious. I had 6 of them before this trip began, and I've got one strap left that both ends have fallen off of, and I just used it as like a what do they call it? A hand truck kind of thing, wrapped around both hands underneath a refrigerator, pick a refrigerator up and haul it out. Our refrigerator died. If anybody wants a free refrigerator, I got one sitting outside my house. Just come by and just pick it up. It's all yours. It doesn't work at all, but I'm sure it'd look great in your house. You're building a trailer. I want to see what that's like when you're done with it. I've been wanting to do a trailer build, but now and right as I was about to tackle it, Harbor Freight pulled most of their trailers, and that's what I was going to use as a base. In fact, we almost had to buy a new trailer because we almost bought that Kawasaki Mule, and that would not have fit in the trailer we have. So that was the other reason for wanting to go with the Jeep. I'm just bummed that I can't flat tow it because I figured, oh, it's a Jeep, I can flat tow it, not thinking that, oh, that's not in all of them. Apparently, only the Cherokee and the Wrangler has the switch where you can disengage everything and you can flat tow it. So we'd have to get a dolly to pull it behind our RV. But still, this would be a great vehicle for when we get back on the road with the RV. Whenever that's going to happen, probably next summer. Although I'm thinking about going to. If you guys ever heard about it, there's a place down in Arizona, out in some BLM land called Quartzsite, and it's kind of like Burning Man for older people with RVs. And nobody else crashes the RV. That's the other thing. I'm going to be going back. That's the main reason I have to go back is I have to work with the on a really tiny bike. Okay, you gotta see this. She's gonna kill herself on that bike. Anyway, duct tape is what I have on it right now. Did you see the pictures I posted? It's literally held together with duct tape and Harbor Freight, those lashings, the ratchet straps. The so that's that may be the option we go with for a while. Doesn't look pretty, but it works. And I'll be honest, after all the years and stuff and all the money I've spent trying to make things look pretty and stuff, uh, I am I am more than willing to go with just what works and stop wasting money on making things looking pretty. Saw the Harbor Freight trailer. Whatever. Steven, how's it going? Sorry, the polarization in my glasses makes it hard to read the screen. Todd, how's it going? 8-gallon. Oh, $50. That's a nice deal. What was the last comment there? Junkyard Dog said, "No, don't empty the wallet. It's got my concealed carry permit in it." Hey, buddy. How's it going there? How you doing? See, now what you all need to do is hop in the car and head up here, and we can all do a big barbecue before heading over to the rodeo. That would be the best, viewer get together I could think of. We're having a great time. The wife keeps pitching me on trying to move here, and what she doesn't understand is the last time she lived here. Yeah, barbecue. I got the old barbecue from the RV. We brought it up here, so we're ready to do some cooking. I should just turn that extra fridge into a smoker is what I should do with it. Todd, good call. That miter saw, that Chicago Electric miter saw, for the money, you just can't come close to it. It's a great saw. You just got to be smart on how you use it. Hold on. Yeah. I had to demonstrate polarization to the kids. For those of you who don't know, take 2 sets of polarized sunglasses. Take one set and turn it perpendicular to the other set. This is how you test if you have good polarization. It should turn black. You shouldn't be able to see through the two because the lines of polarization go, I don't know the physics, but it basically blacks out everything. So anyway, I was demonstrating that to the Cubs the other day, and they were fascinated for about half an hour trying to see what they could see and not see and see and not see. The simplest things entertain them. Um, yeah, But oh, what was I talking about? See, you got me all distracted here talking about polarization. I've been talking about people coming up here, 4th of July, vacation. Oh, the wife trying to talk me into. Oh, now see, now I got to come on that. Hold on, we'll get back to the wife. I cannot drive without polarized sunglasses. My Ray-Bans that I always have Ray-Bans that look just like this, got broken right before the trip. And I had to hit up like 10 gas stations before I found a pair of cheap ones that were reasonably close in quality. I didn't want to drop another 150 bucks on the Ray-Bans, and I'll wait till we get back. The place we bought them from warranties them. So, um, come on, where is it? Compound level repair guys. Oh, jeez. the But anyway, the wife. So when she moved out of Montana, she was yeah, turn right on. That's already happening. She was in her mid-teens, so she's never been an adult in winter, as I like to think. That's my the way I call it, because winter, when you don't have responsibilities, is beautiful and fun and romantic, and you get these cozy nights inside, and it seems all wonderful. Especially when you're in a small town and you could walk the entire town in a couple minutes, even in the winter. Where I grew up, well, I should say it like this: when I moved out of the winter belt, as it were, I had just turned 30. So I had been an adult. I had had a house. I'd had cars that I'd had to get through winters. I had missed work because my car wouldn't start, or I couldn't get my car out of the driveway because the snowplow had built a ice wall in front of my driveway. Um, I dealt with those kind of responsibilities, and she doesn't remember what that's like. And of course, at the time, we also didn't have a 4x4. The pickup truck we have is a 4x2. Um, which, if you got chains and you know how to drive, you can get through most situations in a 4x2. Um, but she's trying to talk me, and she still wants us to do one winter up here. So, not this coming winter, but probably in like 2 or 3 years, we're gonna see if we can work it out so that we do one whole winter up here. I think that'll fix her. She'll be ready just to do the summer thing. Most beautiful state. I think this is. You know what? Um, I have been to 46 states. I think it is. Hold on. I haven't been to Alaska. I haven't been to Hawaii. I haven't been to Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas. I think that's it. So I've been to 44 states. And so that said, I've I would have to say that Montana is my favorite state. Um, you got the mountains, you got the plains, you got rivers. Um, I love the people. Everyone here is real nice. They're real pleasant folk. Um, it just the winters. I'll be happy to go back to Vegas as soon as it starts snowing. But I'll be back there before then. I'll be back there for the summer. So just hope that AC keeps going all summer, and I'll be okay. Stationed in Illinois the first winter. Yeah, I've seen negative. I think negative 62 degrees is the coldest I've ever seen. And no, I have no desire to go any place that's humid. Hot, they always joke, joke about, but it's a dry heat. I'm sorry, but that's a real thing. If you've been in a real dry heat and you've been in hot and humid, you know the difference. Humid is you can't breathe. Hot is this sucks. Humid is I'm going to suffocate. About one of the worst I've ever been was I was down in the Sea of Cortez in Mexico, in Baja, Mexico, and the temperature, the humidity, and the water were all about the same. You could walk from the beach into the ocean, and other than it feeling slower, like you were slow, like it was kind of sluggish, you couldn't tell when you entered the water. It was that kind of humid. 110, 110's for sissies. 110, it's already been 110 in Vegas. We get 110 on a regular, every day kind of thing during the summer in Vegas, which is the main reason I'm here right now. What's the temperature here? Oh wow, it got up to it's 90 degrees allegedly sitting here in the sun. See, the thing with cold is you can always put on more clothes. At some point with heat, it becomes indecency. Well, if you're me, I get arrested. I'm sure there's some women out there who, just get some catcalls. I'm gonna get arrested. But no, anyway. So as I said before, I will be back in Vegas in just over a week's time. So you want to, for those of you who aren't into the whole Montana, bent that a lot of the videos have been going, those are going to go away. We're going to get back more into the hardcore tools and such. So fear not. As I said, feel free to, post any comments about stuff you want to, any comments about any tools you want reviewed or you want me to follow up on. See you, Joe. You have a good one. Thanks again, by the way. Bears in Montana. Yeah, I don't know if you were here earlier, but we saw the older cub and I went for a drive out in the country the other morning, and we saw two brown bears. I don't think they were grizzlies. I don't know, but they were definitely brown bears, and a wolf. So it was quite an adventure. He was thrilled. Take care, Todd. Thank you so much. All right. Well, hold on. Yeah. So I'm getting waved at by the Cubs. I think they're done with their time over at the farmers market. So Glacier National. No, I don't think we're gonna make it to Glacier. I really wanted to go. I still have not seen a mountain goat yet, and they're all over Glacier National Park. So I really wanted to go do that. But anyway, guys, I gotta go. We gotta cut it early today. It's hot outside, and the Cubs are waving at. We're taking them over to the swimming pool next, so they're ready to get their toes wet and cool off a bit. So you all take care. Thanks again, and again for any of your comments or any of your donations. It all helps with the cause. And as always, shine on.